Hi everyone, in today's video we are going to be diving into some forgotten makeup favourites, and this video kind of comes off the back of my de-influencing the Sephora sale video where I was really trying to encourage you to go back into your makeup collection, see what's there and shop your own stash. So I'm going to practice what I preach and I'm going to be diving back into my old makeup today, and I'm going to be sharing with you some favourites that I had really forgotten about. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, then please do keep on watching. So as I said in the intro, the inspiration for this video came from my Sephora de-influencing video. And although I have a video where I did dive back into some old favourites, another inspiration for me was from my really good friend Jan, who has a channel here on YouTube dedicated to makeup and beauty. And she has a Throwback Thursday where every Thursday she dives back into her makeup collection. And I just think it's such a good example for all of us. I'm going to link her channel down below, but please do pop over there and go and say hi. She is one of the nicest people you will ever see on this platform. She's just a joy. I have already filled in my brows because I didn't really have anything in my collection brow wise that I don't really use. The only product that I have is a brow holding product, and this used to be my real holy grail. This is the 24-hour brow setter by Benefit. This is a really good product. I do prefer to have a waxy type formula. This is a nice product and will definitely hold hairs in place, but I don't have that many hairs. That's the problem. But when I use a wax, it literally finds every teeny tiny hair and will make my brows look fuller than what they are. Whereas this is just good for people who have hairs to begin with. So for me, it's nice and I do like it, and it's my favourite from the high end when it comes to brow holding products. I just get really stuck in my ways when it comes to brow products. I like what I like and I like what I like. But if you have brow hairs already, you will really find this very beneficial. Benefit do brow products really well, don't they? Really well. So for eyes today, I'm going to be diving into a palette that I mentioned recently in a drugstore video, but it's not a drugstore palette. It's a very affordable palette though, and it's from Beauty Bay. And this is a 42 shade palette. I actually saw this on Beauty Bay this morning and it's reduced to £10. £10 for all of these shades. Now, the one thing I will say, it's a bit, it's big. It's big. It's hard to store if you don't have a vanity. I'm actually going to go in with this lilac shade here. Sometimes I feel like I have to be really careful with purples. With purples in general, there is that fine line between a really beautiful shade and a black eye. So you just have to be a little bit careful. But I'm just going to take a little bit of this on my BK Beauty 202. So I'd love to know down in the comments, what palette would you reach for now if you were to go through your collection and pick out something that you haven't used in a really long time? What would it be? So then I think I'm going to go in with this shade in the crease, which is called Tender. I'm actually going to go in with the same brush. This is the shade Heather, and it looks a little bit grey. So let's pop a bit of that on. I'm just going to brighten up the inner corner with this shade here. Just actually at the first third of my eye. I'm going to use a Refa 21 for that. Okay, next I'm going to go in with this shade here, I think, which is called Bangle. So this is turning out to be quite a cool toned look, isn't it, with the mixture of colours that I've chosen. I think I'm going to go in with another shade. I like this shade here, which is Cupid, which is more pink. I'm going to mix it in with the previous shade. I'm just going to take a little bit of this really deep brown here and I'm just going to stamp some on the lash line. For that, I used my Sigma EO6. This is such a good brush for getting to the lash line. When it comes to under the lash line, I don't really like using too many purples. Going back to what I said before, there's a fine line between a lovely purple and an eye that looks like it's got a bruise. So I'm actually going to go in with this shade Coffee over here. And I'm just going to bring a little bit under the lash line with my Refa 03. And then just going in with this light shade here, just to finish off the inner corner. Okay, we'll clean up this eyeshadow once I get some concealer on. You might have this eyeshadow palette. If you do, you need to dive back into it. It's so, so good. The formulas are fabulous and I feel like they are so user-friendly. For mascara, I'm actually going to go in with a mascara that I mentioned in my last empties video. And this is my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Push Up Lashes Mascara. It's a mascara that I forget that I really, really love. Don't forget, mascaras will probably be the first things to expire in your makeup collection. Just noticed that I had some black eyeshadow on my neck. So if that's been on my neck the whole time, apologies. I really feel like I'm falling back in love with this mascara, and that is just proof that you need to go back into your collection and you need to start using the stuff that you used to use or you used on and off or that used to be a holy grail, because you could have an absolute second wind with it, like I am with this mascara. Makeup is a funny thing, isn't it? Moving on to complexion now, and I'm popping in with another old product of mine that I have been picking up more and more recently, and it's the Nars Radiant Creamy Colour Corrector. I've been finding that this is helping with my prominent blue veins. I probably should have been using this a lot more, but yeah, I have so many concealers in my drawer that I tend to just try and use those, but this is actually a really, really good product. But my skin is so thin there, so thin, and it's getting thinner by the day. I look really funny now with orange under eyes and purple eyelids. So I'm going in with concealer now, and I have chosen a concealer that I used to love and then I fell out of love with because I was finding it wasn't sitting underneath my eyes very well. But I've been using it this week in preparation for this video, and it's actually been good. So this is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. I have a couple of shades in this. So the lightest shade is Coconut Flakes, and then we have Cookie Dough, which is more in tune with my skin tone. So I'm going to go with Cookie Dough. Funny really, because I'd completely written off this concealer. It wasn't really working for me at the time. I just found that it would look really beautiful to start with, and then it would just start to crease. But maybe I've just got a bit better at prepping my under eyes. So I found that it's worn really beautifully this week. So yeah, another example of not writing something off if you've loved it once. It looks really nice, but like it always did look nice when it went on. It was just, I would find that it would crease quite a lot. As I said, I've worn it all week and it's been really, really nice. It's performed beautifully. So I don't know, but it's worthwhile being aware that your skin does change, your under eyes do change. They will go through good patches and they'll go through really bad patches. So that's why you shouldn't really write off a product. Keep it there as long as it's not expired and go back to it and see if it works again. And I put the concealer on with my BK Beauty A506 as I always do. Foundation now, and I did and ah about including this because this is actually, as far as I'm aware, a discontinued product. But I wanted to include it because A, I'm not here to try and sell you anything, and B, just because something is discontinued doesn't mean we should stop using it, which for some reason my tiny brain tells me if something's been discontinued or it's changed in formulation, there's no point in using it anymore because you can't repurchase it. Well, that is silly. That is just silly. So I've gone back to this foundation this week and realized how much I truly loved it. And it was actually really expensive. So why is it just sat in the drawer? And it's this one. It's the Tom Ford Traceless Foundation Stick. So this foundation stick I have in the shade 6 Natural. This is the foundation stick of all foundation sticks, to be honest. And I remember a while ago when I was reviewing, well, when I was talking about the Dior foundation stick, the new one from this year, that I said that that one was better than this one. I think I was wrong. I think this one is definitely more superior to the Dior. I really do think that this will be brought back at some point. It has to be. Why did they discontinue this? Because it's an absolutely stunning product and everybody loved it. That's with the foundation and without. It's so skin-like, it's so natural, but really, really flattering. Oh, I really love it. And I'm so glad that I pulled it out again because it was just sat in my drawer. Right, let me just get this on the rest of my face. And I'm popping this foundation on with my BK Beauty 101 brush. So there we are. Another lesson that just because you have a discontinued item in your makeup collection, you don't have to abandon it like I did with my Tom Ford. That's why these Shop Your Stash videos, I think, are really, really helpful. We're going to go in with bronzer now, and I'm going to go in with one that used to be an absolute holy grail for me. And sometimes I dip in and out of it, but not as much as I should. And this is my Nars Cream Bronzer. I have this in the shade Laguna 2. And this used to be all I would ever wear. I want to show it some love. I want to show it some more love. So we're going to go in with my BK Beauty A507. So this is a really lovely neutral bronzer. And like I said, I used to wear this literally every single day. But, you know, new bronzers come along and I'm fickle. I get my head turned and then I only want to use my new shiny bronzers. Now for blush, and this blush was actually gifted to me earlier in the year and I fell in love with it. This is by Florasis. Look at the packaging, by the way. So gorgeous. So this is the Florasis Peony Dream Cream Blush, and I used it so much when I first received it, and then lots of new blushes came along which turned my head. And when I saw this in the drawer, I just thought I have to have this on my face today. If you've never tried Florasis, oh, they produce the most incredible products, especially this blush, their lip products, powder, their setting powder, their pressed setting powder is my holy grail. Such a super pretty blush. Love it. I'm going to go in with a little bit of powder now. So I'm going to go in with a bit of this, which is my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush setting powder. There's one reason why I stopped using this, and it's this. It's smashed. And I didn't even do anything to it. I did have it in my bag, but I wasn't throwing my bag around. And it ended up like this. I'm just taking an e.l.f. powder brush and I'm going to tap very gently into the remnants of this powder, because before it smashed on me, I actually did really like it. It's a great setting powder. I actually want to go in with two blushes today. So I want to go in with a powder blush now, just to set what's on my face. And I'm actually going to go in with one that I reviewed when I did a full face of L'Oreal. This is the L'Oreal Lip Blush. Such a beautiful, beautiful blush. This is in the shade Luminous Rose, and I'm just going to pop some over the top. I really just want to try and use up products that I've bought to review or I've bought for a full face. I want to make good use of them. Right, let's move on to lips. So for lips today, I'm going to start by going in with a Nars Lip Liner. I used to really love this lip liner, but since I discovered the Maybelline Lifter Liners, that's all I use. And then I'm going to go in with an old MAC lipstick, and this is in the shade Modesty, but this is the old Modesty. So I'm using it today just to prove to you that you don't need to be scared to use your old lipsticks that have been discontinued. Just use them. That's what they're there for. Okay, we are almost done, but I wanted to finish off with a highlighter. I don't really wear highlighters anymore, to be honest. I'm not in my highlighter era, but there was one highlighter that I was completely obsessed with, and this is by Nabla. I forgot how beautiful it was. I just moved away from powder highlighters quite a while ago because no matter how good a powder highlighter is, there is going to be a little bit of emphasis on texture. So there we are, a full face of forgotten favourites. I think we really need to make more of an effort to dive back into our makeup collection and use products that we've either forgotten about or ones that we're kind of just avoiding using. For me, it's discontinued products that I know I can't get my hands on again, but me just leaving it sitting in a drawer makes no sense. Use them, pick them up, discontinued or not, pull them out as long as they've not expired. And luckily, none of mine have. So I really want to know if this has inspired you to dive back into your makeup collection, or if you have been back into your makeup collection recently, what have you recently rediscovered? Let us know down in the comments because I would love to hear all about them. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I so appreciate you being here with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next one. But until then, take care and bye for now.